glad we get to spend a little bit of time today. Um, Interesting conversation again. So often we're getting to this point in the year, and lots of feelings are interacting with how you performed in the year, performance evaluations, bonuses are being given, the direct portion of those bonuses based on your effort to the results, it all starts adding up. And one of the things that I think is key as you're shifting into a new year, shifting into becoming a better version of yourself, is the understanding that you are not your business or your role. Now, for some people, that's an easy concept because they're like, look, I understand. I'm just working at this place and I am the accountant. I am the whatever. However, so often we might embody our identity with that role. For people in business, many times they might share the same name. I am John Brown and I own an insurance agency. And so my agency is known as John Brown Agency. And so when the John Brown Agency is not doing good, then all of a sudden I feel like I'm not doing good. And that can be a very difficult place to be because in reality, most of us have been given a role. And in that role, we have become the steward of all the things that go with that role, whether you're a business owner, whether you are a level one manager, consultant, whatever it is, you have been given the ability to handle that role, but you are not completely comprised of that role. That role technically doesn't ever get a break, but you do. And so once you begin to distinct and have this distinction that I am not my role, you begin to understand that you can get tired and you need to have a rest and performance cycle, that you can actually improve. You can actually grow out of that role and actually get to progress into a new role. And I think that that's where a lot of people find this impasse, where all of a sudden there's those dissatisfiers in what they're doing and they start, questioning, well, what else am I supposed to do? And so that lets me want to talk about one of the things that I've learned in my life, and I call it the rule of seven. The rule of seven is that we all go through a period of time where we learn. And in that period of time, let's just say it's 2 years, you can go through and learn any given skill. And that skill, once it's been perfected and understood, can be executed for approximately 5 years. We see this in some other areas of life. Some people call it the 7 year itch, right? Where maybe you met somebody, you married them, and somewhere around that year seven, you start saying, who is this? What's going on? And the reality is that you and that person have continued to grow, but maybe you have not continued to learn and evolve with that person. In jobs, that's where sometimes people show up and they have this, what we call it, a midlife crisis. Maybe you get a promotion and now you're leading people. And then eventually a couple years after that, you've learned all the things it takes to be good at that role. You've excelled at that role. And somewhere around that year seven mark, you start having that discontentment. You start going out there, applying for jobs, looking for what else is out there. You might even say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get my master's degree now because now I'm going through a period of learning. But at the end of the day, you have to start associating when you start having that feeling of this is not enough as an understanding that you ran out of the knowledge that got you to this point. And so you have to dive into learning, dive into a new skill set so that way you can have some new things to carry you forward. Now, for a lot of people that don't know how to do this, well, luckily for us, we are in a day and an age when you can have so much access to things for free. So it could be getting that library card and going there and getting hardcover books, Audible books. You've got YouTube, where you can literally have access to people all around the world who have the skill sets that you have and are willing to give you that information. But then there's also those of us that are like, hey, you know what? I can read it in a book and I can see these things playing out, but maybe I actually need to get a mentor. Maybe I need to actually get a coach who can actually walk me through this. Let me see the exposures to the places that I need development. But either way, you have to understand that you are not your business. And because you are not your business, because you are not that role, you have the ability not only to grow, but actually become something greater than that role. So with that, I hope that some of you are going to take up that mantle of realizing that you can actually become something greater in a very short period of time. And that can actually start you on a course that will guide you for up to 7 years. Embrace it. I challenge you to dive in. And if you need somebody who can help you through that, there's a lot of different options out there. But I really just want to at least plant that seed that greatness is still there, but you might have to learn some more to get reinvigorated and get to the next phase.